Oh, I just wanted to end it off with that, Father, for why have you forsaken me? To let you know that every time you violate, that's what will happen. And also now, when you go through, you will see that they'll come back. They know what you need and what you're supposed to be doing. As long as you're following, you're okay. But it's when you leave the path, and it's not an easy path to find. To align yourself, it's like riding a wave in a surfboard. You'll feel it and you'll know it. It takes time, it takes isolation, but it's not a permanent isolation. But being out of isolation and around other people disqualifies you, because it's like a knitting of threads inside your brain and your neurons and everything. So now it's like a memory bank that's being created, and it's also a programming bank. But if you don't sit and listen and just ponder, it's going to deprogram to whatever you're hearing or what you're into. So you have to go into silence. Also, I wanted to say, one of our real convictions is music. You know what I'm saying? We don't realize that us, and on the whole, all we do is worship the earth. We don't really worship the Most High or whatever is inside of us, the spiritual or whatever. Everything y'all worship is from rocks to trees to nature to the clothes to food, everything that is of the earth. So y'all is earth worshipers, not God worshipers. That's the whole thing to it. Y'all don't realize. Even some of us are star worshipers, demon worshipers, but nobody's actually the true God worshiper. Like I said, I'm God, so I got to represent it. You understand? And it's the same for everybody else. There's no other path. You sidestepping, and I get the right to check you. If you even talking too much of this science and this earthly shit, anybody could check you, because that's not true. You're misleading everybody when you do that. You're supposed to be trying to ponder on something that you belong in, which is your higher eternal self. If you don't know about that, ain't no need for you to be teaching. What are you teaching? You're inducing what they already know. Let me go on and tell you about this, right? You know, we have what's called the destroyer. I don't know if y'all told you about the destroyer. You know, it's what we call the dragon. So, like for instance, a lot of us want to, how you say, glamorize. Yeah, that's the word, glamorize the dragon. And it was a real experience for me. But in actual ancient writings, the dragon was released by a god on the earth. That's the shit that caused the destruction and everything. Ate everybody up. It fucked us up so bad, it made us go into a post-traumatic stress, and we have fear in us now. It's like you can remember who you are, even from the beginning. But ever since that motherfucking dragon, and he did his little thing, we never wanted to remember. So it's us who don't want to remember. The soul is always there, and it's a scary journey, you know. And if you're not willing to take the journey and remember, you have to be able to remember to be able to take the journey. And so that's why you see symbols. It's like you don't know. You could read all the books in the world and don't really understand it. Your soul don't understand nothing. You do. And they give you perception. But if you show it a bunch of symbols from ancient times, then things start activating. Weird events start taking place, because that psychic, your subconscious work off of the psychic, and it reads only symbols. So that's why it's important to know you have to look at symbols, learn the platonic solids, the five of them, because those vibrating or moving at a fast pace, oscillating, it brings actually back your memory. You know, it's like brain waves. You're messing with alpha waves, and it changed the frequency of your brain to put you back on the right one. When you hang out, socialize, you get off of the frequency and you lose it. You get stuck in this dimension. What you're in is a substance. The substance that you're in, it's like you're in water, but the water's so thin you can't see it, but you're still falling. You never started to get up or stop falling. So that's the problem. Once you stop falling is when you become conscious. Fall and stop. And just like when you eat, and when you eat, you gain weight from just one good plate, but it'll take you a month or two to take it off every day. It's the same thing with falling. For every day you fall, it's going to take you a month to get back up. So we've been falling for a long time, so the journey back up is a tedious, long one. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to start now. it's kind of weird. That means you have to deny yourself of a lot of things. They don't care about your welfare beings, your well-being, all that stuff. It's a journey. And if you're not willing to take the journey like the rich that send their kids to other countries and just to have the experience, you're not going to understand what you're missing. You're only seeing it from one perspective, and that's a child perspective. You could be in that same spot for 100 years, but as long as you didn't move or go see it from other perspective, you didn't see nothing, so you're still the son that stood home. You have to be the prodigal son, and that way you could get a better estimation of what life is trying to tell you. You know, the Father of the gods, or the God of the gods, is real. It changed up my doctrine now, because when I had fear, it was gone. I thought I was God, I had all this power. But now as the fear subsides, because I'm seeing this one man, him and a wolf. It's this man with a wolf. And now I realize I'm not scared no more, so I don't have that extra energy, but I know now. University of Conscious Science, one love.